Welcome Just Free Hands, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'll walk you through how I successfully established a productive 90 square foot corn garden using cardboard as a foundation despite the rocky and unfavorable soil conditions of Guam. This experiment taught me valuable lessons about innovative gardening techniques and how to adapt to local environmental challenges. Guam's rocky terrain poses significant challenges for agriculture. Traditional in-ground cultivation is nearly impossible due to poor soil quality and drainage issues. To overcome this, I opted for a raised garden approach, importing soil and using cardboard as the base layer to suppress weeds, retain moisture, and enhance soil structure. These are the steps that I took in order to achieve that. Step one was the preparation of the foundation, right? Basically the preparation of the garden itself. The foundation being the cardboard and whatnot. Cardboard was chosen as the foundation material because of its numerous benefits in agricultural systems. For example, weed suppression. Cardboard acts as a natural barrier to inhibit weed growth. The other benefit of using cardboard is for moisture retention, whereby it helps lock in water by reducing evaporation from the soil. And the third thing that is good about using cardboard is soil health. Over time, the cardboard breaks down, adding organic matter to the soil and improving its nutrient profile. After laying the cardboard, I sourced high-quality gardening soil and organic manure from the local market. These were thoroughly mixed to create a nutrient-rich planting medium with adequate aeration and drainage, critical for healthy root development in corn. Traditionally, mulch is applied after planting to achieve several objectives. For example, reduce water loss through evaporation, maintain consistent soil temperature, and also suppress weed growth around the corn plants. But for my case, I actually did it backwards. What I did was I applied mulching way early before I even planted. I did not want to disturb the corn as it's germinating. The second step was selecting and preparing the corn seeds. Seed selection is a crucial step in ensuring a successful harvest. So in my case, I chose to dry corn from the flea market to use as seeds for this experiment. I did make a video about going to the flea market here in Guam. You can watch it right after this video. Anyway, so to determine seed viability, I employed the float test. Basically what I did was I immersed the seeds in water, selecting only those that sank, and these are typically denser and more likely to germinate. The floaters were discarded or repurposed as compost material. Monitoring growth and managing challenges. Corn is a nutrient-demanding crop, so regular care was vital. I adhered to the following routine during the growth phase. One was watering, huge one. Irrigation was done twice daily, morning and evening, when it did not rain, ensuring consistent soil moisture levels. 2. Manure application. Additional manure was incorporated during key growth stages to support healthy development. That's very important. And the third thing I did was weed control. Manual weeding was performed to prevent competition for nutrients. Alright. Let's talk about pest and disease management. Despite careful nurturing, challenges arose. One of the big ones was there's these black beetles, and sometimes the praying mantis will show up and they'll target the plants. So identifying and managing pests is critical in sustainable agriculture. If you know what this black beetle is, please can you confirm to me what it is so I can know its name? The other challenge that I faced was fungal growth. There was a yellowish, I think, a powdery substance at the roots that was raising concern. When I suspected the fungal infection, I manually removed the growth to prevent further spread. As the corn neared maturity, a storm struck, bringing strong winds and heavy rains. The limited root anchorage in the raised soil caused many plants to lean or fall, impacting the stability of the garden. To mitigate this issue in the future, I recommend installing windbreaks, for example, hedges, netting around the garden. Now, let's talk about the harvest and lessons I learned. Delayed harvesting and storm damage affected the final product, resulting in drier corn cobs rather than the tender, juicy kernels ideal for boiling or roasting. However, this experiment was a success in demonstrating the viability of growing corn in a small and conventional garden setup. And I have some key takeaways from this. Raised gardens with imported soil are effective in regions with poor native soil. The second thing I learned was seed selection and preparation methods like flow test enhance germination rates. That's for sure. Another one was, the third thing I learned was mulching is indispensable for moisture conservation and weed suppression. So you have to do it. And fourth thing I learned was, or key takeaway is, regular monitoring for pests and diseases is essential to maintaining healthy crops. You just can't plant and let it grow, hoping it's going to take care of itself. No, you have to monitor those things. Some of them you have to manually remove them, like I did for the fungal growth. The fifth lesson or key takeaway was environmental challenges like storms can be mitigated with structural support and planning. If you found this guide helpful, please like and share. For more innovative agricultural experiments and hands-on gardening tutorials, please subscribe Just for Hands. Together, we can explore creative solutions to grow food sustainably, even in the most challenging conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video, and God bless you.